I haven't seen it yet.
There it goes.
I still haven't seen it, but I'll actually trust you on this one.
Yeah, it says we're live.
If Colder Ice says we're live, then we're live, damn it. And once again, who is Colder Ice?
The bold one, the gold one, John Colder Ice Lawson. What's up, folks?
I'm Brent Leary.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I mean, such a long pause.
Did you expect something different?
You see how I get mine out real nice, smooth, and just go.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You get it out, but all that smooth.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, we're here, folks. We are here. We're here for you. It is Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I'm here for them.
I seriously just woke up.
See, I need to take my nap right after this is over.
I'd be falling asleep, man. It's not like I planned
my nap.
It's not like I'd be planning this stuff, but,
No, it's your age. It plans it for you.
No, I haven't taken naps since I was a little kid.
I know. And then you get old, and then you start taking naps.
I just continue to take naps. I think
I never took naps.
I think I matured at a very young age. So
when was that?
About 3 or 4, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
You know how little kids hate getting put down for a nap when you're a little kid? I didn't. I'd rather look forward to it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. No, seriously.
Yeah, well, anyway, folks, hope you had a great week.
I had a great week.
What was so great
about it? Same as last week.
Oh, wait a minute. No, it was something special here in Atlanta, right? Wasn't it AI
the
week?
Atlanta AI.
It was AI week in Atlanta, folks.
AI week in Atlanta, yes.
Let me just ask you a question. Over the last 2 years, when wasn't it AI week?
I mean,
No, I'm just asking.
This is when AI people got together in the same room. So.
Oh, y'all AI folks.
I guess.
Well, did you feel the excitement?
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement.
Oh, what was like the most interesting thing you heard that you really hadn't heard before about anything?
Yeah, there wasn't. But I mean, the deal is I am immersed in this world. I mean, I'm obsessed with AI. I really am. I mean, that's just the way my mind works just in general. It's like I gotta just feed on something, I am really, really into it. But it definitely let me know how much I am actually into it. So
okay, how did you know? What?
Oh, I mean, it's just like I'm just saying. You talk to people and then you realize it's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. You went
get that. Hey man, it takes a lot to not impress me, but to make my ears stand up, especially in a conference. Most of the times I am ready to take a nap. So there you go.
Wait a minute. So you actually listen to people? That
I'm saying
is rather
directly to you.
Okay.
I'm looking at. Oh, you didn't tell me my lights weren't on.
No, yeah.
I'm in a dark room.
I'm still waking up.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, it was okay. To be honest with you, I kind of dipped out on the second half. So.
How many days was it?
It was supposed to be 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was there any like speaker that was really of note?
I mean, they had a lot of government people there, and a lot of major brands were there in terms of being represented. I mean, when you say speaker of note, you wouldn't know any of the people. I didn't know any of the people.
Are they all local? Like all local Atlanta?
No. Some were, some weren't. Atlanta is a tech hub, so they got people from all those different companies to come over.
Some of the big brands would talk about how they're using
big AI. Brands. We had, all the banks, Amazon-ish, not HubSpot. What's the other one? I can't
The
remember.
other
The one
one?
that's downtown. The one that's down in
What?
yeah,
Salesforce?
yeah, those people. So all those people.
Oh, who at Salesforce? I might know some of them folks.
Like I would know. Like I would care to know. I don't. Yeah. I don't want to talk
I
to
bet I
anybody.
know them. I bet I know. No,
You probably do.
Salesforce has like 80,000 people. I probably don't.
No, you probably know. I mean, if not, they know you, Brent.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
They know you.
So net, what was the most important thing that came out of that?
I don't that AI is something everybody's talking about.
Oh, come on. You knew that going into it.
No, man. I would, like I said, man, I dipped out on a lot of it. So, you know what? Here's the thing. For me, I really don't like panels.
Was
I've
it
told
mostly
you that
panels
before.
or presentations?
It was mostly panels. I don't like panels. And then the keynote speakers, see that it was not feeding me. So, I will fall asleep on a panel in a heartbeat. I don't like panels.
Why don't you like
panels?
panels?
And most times, huh?
Why don't you like panels?
Most times I don't like panels because the host does not do what you do in the mornings. You really you keep it fresh, and you're not walking around with a script of, hey, you send me 3 questions each, and then I ask all 3 questions. And that bores me.
Okay.
And most of the people are talking about how their organization is adapting to AI versus somebody that's in AI talking about how organizations need to adapt. So that was more of what I was looking for. And that's not what I was getting. So I'm sure it was really good for those people in those organizations, and some of the commitment stuff that being spouted, especially here in the Atlanta area, that was informative. So it was cool, but it wasn't like, I don't know. I don't even know what I would expect at this point.
I was getting ready to say,
really don't.
when you hear about an AI focused conference, it's almost like a double entendre at this point. Because what conference hasn't focused on AI, even if it's not called AI?
Well, yeah, absolutely not. But I mean, this was supposedly AI week, so for Atlanta. So,
all right. So what is this AI week? What does it mean,
bro?
What does it mean? I don't know. What does it mean from a perspective of Atlanta being known for AI? Was it one of those kind of conferences that make you, oh my God, Atlanta's really got
no. I mean, this is it's a road show. So they're going to Tennessee next week, and they're going to, and they're like, hey, anybody want to speak? No.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
okay, now I'm not too.
Now you feel me.
Now I'm glad I didn't go.
Oh, you wanted to go?
Not really. I go to enough stuff. But you know what? All right, let me ask you this. And I know you're involved with the TSP thing, so maybe that's it. What conference do you not only really look forward to going to, but delivers on that?
I mean, you know what? I haven't been in the conference circuit since COVID, honestly. So it's just, I have really not been out there. I rarely I mean, the times that I speak, I'm speaking either to our TSP family usually, or I'm doing these Verizon events, which are, small business in a smaller room. I'm just not, I haven't been to a conference in a long time. I guess the only conference I can't even remember.
Wow.
Yeah,
I really say that can't. Because Monday starts me going to 5 conferences in the next 6 weeks.
So which one of those 5 are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, it's different for me. I'm not, I'm kind of going as an analyst, kind of going as, doing some kind of video stuff.
Right.
So it's, I don't know.
Mean, are there any sessions that you're like, I can't miss this session? These guys.
I mean, some of this stuff is literally like an analyst event.
Okay.
As opposed to like a user conference or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm
that's another thing too. I don't use a lot of tools. So I used to be, that was another thing that was always interesting too. It's like, oh, what's going to be the new rollout? How, what's the new advancement of the tool? And I don't really even do that. So
this is what kind of has evolved with one of the things that Paul Greenberg and I do with PPN. And it kind of, what got me to thinking about this is that Jensen Huang keynote where what he had like 40 million views. I know the definition of view is whatever, but 40 million whatevers watched, and a lot of those watched in real time. And it started me thinking, if I were a tech company, tech company, because most of the conferences are tech company conference. So I hadn't really thought about the importance of the opening keynote not really thought about it until that, because how often, now that's an extreme example, but how often do you get, let's say thousands of people really kind of paying attention to what you're saying? I mean,
every week for me.
Yeah, okay. And then you woke up. But I'm just saying, like those opening keynotes, the keynote, the conference can be like all week long. But the thing, and like you were saying, if there's a 3 or 4 day event, there's multiple sessions, there's lots of networking going on. So although there might be a lot of people there, their attention is distributed because they could be in any session or talking to folks or doing whatever. But that opening keynote is where you have the best concentrated attention probably of the year, right? For just that 60 minutes. This is your opportunity to lay out the most important stuff so that you maximize your return on that attention.
Yep.
And it's not just the thousands of people that are there physically now. Let's face it, there might have been 5,000-10,000 people in the Jensen Huang keynote, but it was the millions of people that watched virtually. So you got the opportunity to have literally millions of people in your hand, so to speak, for like an hour. And we started thinking, what do people need to do in that hour? So we started looking at doing these watch party things. And the whole idea is we don't care. Well, I shouldn't say we don't care, but we don't emphasize what takes place after the keynote, because this is the one opportunity where you have all eyes are on you, as Tupac once said. So how do companies handle that? How do they make sure they get the most out of it? So we're doing these watch parties, and we're going through stuff. We're not worried about anything else, just the opening keynote. And then right after, the opening keynote, we start giving our first impressions. And I started realizing, man, most of these companies are not taking full advantage of this opportunity they have. Man, we were going to work on some of these watch parties, because it's like you got thousands, millions of people potentially watching, and you're doing this with that 60 minutes. And I don't think most companies, I don't know if they think about it in those terms. And it seems like they should.
They're not talking to the audience. They're talking to the investor.
Well, they want to get their talking points over, not necessarily what the customers or their audience
it's not
really
for
wants.
the customers. Yeah, it's not for the customers.
But that's the opportunity they have, right? If you really focus in, we got
but I mean, that's what you put all the you put all the streams together for the customer.
Yeah, but real-time engagement opportunity here, not after the fact, or well, go watch the video after. I mean, anybody can do that.
I just think people need to have a dynamic and amazing opening keynote and stop doing their corporate guy. I hate those.
I think it's got to be
the last thing I want to hear at 8 a.m. day one is, they drive me crazy.
Yeah, but guess what? I mean, if you have some kind of, like, let's say a well-known, a lot of them are going the entertainment route, the entertainer route.
Yeah.
Like there's one, I'm not going to it, but I was like, why they got her?
Well, I don't think entertainers are good for the beginning.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. This is the opening keynote. This is the
I don't think that's good for the beginning.
Yeah, but I think a lot of them just don't view it as important as it really. I think they view it as important to getting their message across or their key talking points across.
Yeah,
but that seems to me like a complete waste of opportunity. If that's all you're going to do is try to force a message down without really taking into consideration what you could potentially do with this hour. Because this hour really sets the tone for the year when you think about it.
It almost feels like they don't even like being there a lot of times.
Oh,
like not like they don't like being there, but it's like a responsibility they have to do.
Almost
doesn't feel like they want to do that.
It almost feels like they treat it like a commercial. Like you're going to listen to what the hell we've got. Well, no, not necessarily. We've got you here for an hour, and we're going to basically force feed our message to you.
Exactly, because that's the most people watching.
And I think that's when you start losing people, when you completely treat it as a commercial. How often, like when you go to a site and it has a clip you want to watch, but before you can get to the clip, they got like 90
commercial.
It's like, oh my God. Sometimes I'm like, I don't really need to watch this damn clip that badly. And I'm off to something else. I don't know. I think companies really need to rethink how they approach their opening keynote when you have so much potentially at stake.
I remember my friend Phil, he used to always put a dynamic keynote in the front and then a sponsor afterwards, right? And the sponsor would usually be it'd usually be PayPal. I remember it used to be PayPal. And the guy in Australia and PayPal, he wasn't at all interesting. Sorry, whoever that person was, but, and then you bring it back up with another informative session. But I mean, he was always, I think in that first slot needs to set the tone for the rest of the week. And if that first slot is just a talking head from the, corporation doing, like you said, is commercial, it just brings down the whole mode for me.
You know what?
Oh,
go ahead.
That's why I usually sleep in.
Well, here's the interesting. I'll go back to the Digital Wong keynote. The first thing he said was, I have no script. I'm going to be winging it to a certain extent on some things. I got some things I want to talk to you about.
He had a script, whatever.
He was not reading from anything. Now he had some stuff he wanted to cross. He had some things. He had a deck, so he had some things he wanted to get through.
I mean, he had a script.
I don't even know. It didn't appear like he had it. He was not reading anything. Let's put it like that.
No, well, I mean, who reads on stage? Now that's weird.
Are you kidding me?
I can't.
Haven't you seen when you go up on stage and get those big things in front of it? And there are people literally reading that stuff. which is like the fastest way to lose. The fastest way to lose an audience is to read from a teleprompter.
Absolutely. But I mean, somebody like, I wouldn't expect him to read. I didn't expect Steve Jobs to read. They come and they talk.
Well, those two,
they know what their points are going to be. But those two just read from a teleprompter.
Oh, but but a lot of people do, and they overuse slides. Like we don't need a whole bunch of slides. Those, I mean, and if you don't have any charisma, you need to find somebody that does.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so I don't know why they always put themselves there.
Well, because I think a lot of them fancy themselves. Oh, Steve Jobs did this, or
everybody ain't Steve Jobs.
That's for sure. But they'd love to be. Now, there's some folks that are really
they love
good.
to think like they are in their head.
Yeah, wear the black shirt and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's face it. What's the Zuck? Can you imagine sitting through an hour-long keynote of him? It's just him talking.
No.
Oh, hell!
Every time I have to listen to his keynote, I'm like,
I'd rather slit my throat. I mean, it's
pretty bad.
Now, Mark Benioff is one of those, like Jensen Huang, Mark Benioff. I'll say Larry Ellison, but I don't, kind of in a different manner. But some people are just you can't help but think about and want to hear.
I ain't thinking about none of them.
Oh, when you're there in you, all right. I'll say
there.
Okay, so I have been there year after year after year, and you can see people look for when you have somebody and has spoken year after year after year, and still people look forward to the next time.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of people like that.
Yeah, I remember that. There's a guy, Scott Wingo, who used to be the CEO of Channel Advisor, and we would go there every year to hear Scott speak. And I mean, he wasn't like this great dynamic speaker, but his mind and the way it worked, and he would just unveil how he would see the landscape of the industry. And those kind of talks are very interesting. You don't need to have a whole lot of pomp and circumstance, but you got to have a unique angle.
Yeah. By the way, look who's back.
She's
Vietnam.
Okay. Yeah, she just went off to Vietnam.
Wow.
How about that? That's crazy.
Really cool. Is she doing like a year?
No, she's doing a Southeast Asia for a year, I think. For a year?
Because she was in Mexico, and then she was like in Argentina or something.
Argentina, yeah. Now she's
the world traveler. Good to see you.
Anthony, what's up?
Shout out Scott Wingo. We got
old school. We old school.
eBay folks up in the house.
That's right. We old school, man.
Well, you old, so why not? I don't know. It's for as many events that I go to, and I'm sure you go to a lot of them, I would say maybe 1 out of every 10
at best.
Yeah, so that's why
at best
I'm starting to do this whole thing about when we do our watch parties. I make this little highlight reel of our first impressions, and I find out a lot of these things are people are watching, and it's the folks who are kind of responsible for these, like the content.
Well, maybe you'll get them to do better.
I don't know. Southeast Asia for a year. I got it. Yeah. You know what? She's like a Shiro. I mean, she's out there living in different parts of the world. That takes a special kind of person that I am definitely.
She's a special kind of person.
That's really cool. And Nikki.
Hey, Nikki Bell.
We are fine now that you're here.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
How many damn cousins do you have?
just a few.
Oh my God! Like every other person that watches this is your cousin of some sort.
That's because my people support me. They love me.
You got cousins by the dozens. I mean, you got a big ass family. Excuse my French.
We'll see.
I thought I had a big family. Reunion. You know how many first cousins I have? When you add them up,
you got more than me. You got more than me.
I think I got 50.
Yeah, I don't have. I got. I mean, first cousins on the Lawson side, I got 3. So
damn.
Yeah, it was just my dad and his sister, and that was it. On that side of the family, and then on my mom's side of the family, it was her sister and her brother. So it was 3 of them, and they each had
is like she really
5 kids apiece.
Is Ayanna your cousin too?
No, but we you know, Ayanna used to be. She's next door. She used to be next door to me at the warehouse.
Oh, okay.
You never came over there when she moved there. Yeah.
Nah. Nikki is saying it's a gang. It's the Lawson gang.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, Shay, I definitely. You are a shiro. You're an adventurer. You're a world traveler. I would love to be able to travel the world like that, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to eat, so I'm not going to certain places.
Yeah, if they don't have,
like Vietnam, McDonald's. I don't think I'll ever see Vietnam.
Oh my God, some of the best food in the world, Vietnamese food.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not
living the life.
I'm not a very adventurous eater.
So, yeah.
So I'll have to live vicariously through Shay and her travels throughout the world.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
You never knew that you're my hero.
Oh God. Really?
I just wanted to.
Don't sing. Seriously, don't do it.
All right. Well, all right. So Ayanna, Nikki, Shay, Anthony.
Tell them don't sing.
No, that's not right. I would love to just know. Do you guys? Oh, I know. I mean, if she's going all over the place, she's probably going to events and stuff. Like, how often does an event that you go to actually make you feel like you're right to go? That, man, this is great.
Oh, a lot of time.
No, I'm not talking about just for the networking.
Oh, well, yeah, that's usually what's. I mean, what else are you going? You're going to meet people. You're going to hang out.
Well, the thing is, but for the keynote, you can't really network during the keynote. You want most people like to actually pay attention to the keynote. They'll network over everything else, but the one thing they will try to pay attention to is it's the opening keynote, not other stuff. The opening keynote.
I think this is a interesting topic, but you should move on.
Oh, come on. What? All right. What are you talking about here? What do you want to talk about? What, AI? AI?
No, I don't sit around and talk about AI all the time.
I'll be talking about that like
6 weeks. How about this? Did you see?
Okay, wait a minute. Anthony says, if it doesn't, you make it work. Going to Music Biz in Atlanta in May.
In May, okay.
Not enough programming for us, so we made a shadow schedule.
So y'all just coming in Atlanta just to hang out.
Yeah, the network.
Whatever.
That's all right. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but
that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. Man, me and Brent been at the same conferences, and he don't even know I'm gone. I'm out checking out the
city. I just never assumed. Wow. I didn't know you left the town. I mean, damn.
Whatever, man.
So Ayanna says she's not a mingler, so I'm usually going to hear what Wow. Okay, so she actually goes to actually listen.
Yeah, but she's talking about usually TSP. Now that is a place you're going to go and listen.
Well, that's different. I mean, maybe I see it as different because
it is different.
Aren't you like an active member? Like you paying some money to not you, but the people that are in the community, aren't they like paying a certain amount to get as much out of that thing as possible?
Well, I think more than anything, because only like a third of the room are the members. People come to learn. And I think
Let me ask you this.
It's a lot of educational stuff.
Let me ask you this though, because I've seen some of the video. Like, there's a lot of people having a good time in there. There's a lot of good networking and all that. Yeah. If they didn't have that, would it be? Do you think people would go if they didn't have all of that?
I think all of that makes it what it is.
Okay.
I don't know if you can separate the two.
I could. Like, there's certain conferences like Dreamforce. You can't imagine not having that opening keynote where there is a lot of information coming from it. A lot of people do go mainly for that, although they definitely also take advantage of a lot of opportunities to network. But if you didn't have that as the main draw, I don't think it would come off any other way. But like, there are, like your boy just said, he will come and make something happen on his own. So it's not really driven by, the opening keynote. It's driven by people being there, I guess, and taking advantage of the people that are going to be there.
Okay. I would say a lot of it has to do with the environment.
Okay.
A lot of it has to do. I mean, because you play these videos and people are up and they're excited and they're talking to one another, and then you're dancing and you got the DJ. I mean, all of that plays into it. If you didn't have any of that, I don't think it would be as
well, let me ask you, how important is that?
Very important.
Okay. All right. Is it more important to have that than to have like a really meaty keynote?
It's more important to have a good audience than it is to have good content. Because a good audience can make bad content feel good. Bad content can kill a good audience. So,
but it starts with having a good audience. So that's what it sounds like.
Absolutely. Because I mean, everything's about people and the networking of people.
So it's about the networking mostly.
Well, I'm saying not the networking. I'm just saying the way people network together. There's certain things that happen. Here's the deal. There's certain things that happen when people get together in a group that will never happen when people are by themselves.
I mean, I can see that. I mean, we did our event, and it was an event that was a group of people that we handpicked to be there. And I think by us having the handpicked people there, it was the right group for our event. And that kind of fed off and made the event as successful as it was. If we had just had people rolling up in there that did not have the connection to us, like y'all have the connection to in TSP, it would, but we're not doing all that, and it still ended up being successful, right? I mean, that's kind of like I think I see what you're saying about a connection between the right audience and kind of the right content.
You have to have the right content for the right audience. So, I mean, your content works for your audience.
Right. That's what, and you're saying your content, right.
It wouldn't work for every audience. So you got
it wouldn't work for the TSP audience. And I'm guessing the TSP content probably wouldn't have fit. Yeah. So,
yeah. So every conference has its own, personality.
Could you imagine like Paul Greenberg dancing?
No.
And here's the other thing.
He tried. I can't imagine you dancing.
Yeah.
I can definitely imagine him more than you.
Yeah, well.
There you go.
Back in my day. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
But I mean, the deal is TSP is unapologetically Black. And that alone was the initial draw. And I think it continues to be the draw. It is our culture, our people, our music, the way we like to do what we like to do. And I just don't see anything. I see everybody try. to duplicate it, but there ain't nobody duplicating that environment.
Well,
And
what
it's
about?
such a good, environment of uplift for that community.
I mean, I've seen that done before. Maybe to not the same extent, but if you remember, there once was a thing called the Atlanta Tribune,
Right.
and they had a community around that magazine, and they were both part of the community and also leaders in the Black business community.
Yep.
And they had a core group of people that attended everything they did. Now, there wasn't a lot of singing and dancing and all that, but it was a bunch of Black business folks that came together several times a year for these events. And part of it, I think, is because they had a more corporate spin to the thing. Like a lot of their sponsors were big brands like Coke and Home Depot and all that kind of stuff. And maybe that's why you didn't see a whole bunch of kind of the things that happened at TSP. But the common theme is these folks were part and proud parts of this community around there in that organization. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to have it where you're all doing a bunch of singing and dancing. But
yeah, but see, here's the thing. Again, like I said, this is unapologetically Black. So we've had these same people come to our event, and
I mean, wait a minute. I just want to cut through the unapologetically Black. I mean, most of the people that were at the Tribune events were unapologetically Black. I mean, I don't.
No, I'm not saying that they weren't. I said the event was.
But the event was unapologetically Black for them too.
Okay.
I just think
well, let me finish my point.
All right, go.
So when we have people like, that are keynote speakers that will come to our event, that have been to all these events, the Damon Johns of the world,
they didn't get paid to speak.
Andrew Young.
Andrew Young was definitely at the Tribune stuff.
I'm trying to think of Keisha. What's her?
Lance Bottoms.
Yep, Keisha.
Yeah, the mayor of Atlanta.
So I'm just saying, when these people get in the room,
the
one thing they always say is like, man, I ain't never been like this, had it like this, because it's like going to your family reunion. It's your family reunion is unapologetically
Ayanna's
family.
Issa Rae.
Issa Rae, Issa Rae. These people are amazed, and they're like, what? There's 1,000 people here that are all small business owners, some of them doing 7-8 figures in the room. And it's like, I've never seen this before. It's I don't know. It's a dream world.
Let me ask you this.
Literally feels, it's like going to Wakanda for real.
I was going to say, what part does celebrating each other play in the success of that event?
What do you mean?
You just said there's people, successful 10-figure businesses all in the room, and it sounds like a lot of what goes on is recognizing that individual and group success. What role does that play in the success of the event?
Oh, I know, definitely. It always does. Excuse me, man. But yeah, absolutely, that plays into it. I mean, you have to go to, other conference. I think the other conference that I've been to that's similar to this, but it would probably be like ClickFunnels,
And that's definitely not unapologetically.
No, it's not, but it's unapologetically bro hustler. You know what I'm saying? It's made for that crew, and
where I saw that too? The first couple years of Infusionsoft. Remember they used to do their conference?
Yeah,
and it was very high energy, and people were up in there crying and stuff about.
They were crying,
because they're very very emotional about what they're able to do, how their lives changed.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people up in there, like I think having the same kind of emotions that you're talking about with TSP.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, once you get to a certain level, you lose that. I mean, once you're, you know, it becomes harder and harder the larger it gets to maintain the core. But I think they've done a really good job of that. But like I'm saying, you know, the I think it's so it's time to celebrate. Um, yeah, that's true too, Shy. I mean, it's like hard for sponsor event with big brands to be this way, you know, and it really
Well,
is.
how could they? I mean, they're
Yeah,
not.
it's independent.
Their audience is not just black folks, so it can't be all unapologetically black. You know.
Yeah,
But
but I mean, I'm saying unapologetically black the same way this other conference could be unapologetically, you know, bro hustler, or another
yeah,
one could
yeah.
be, you know, unapologetically. I mean, our ecom was unapologetically ecom
Well,
back
you
in the
guys were
day.
you. There is a certain level of energy I found at some of those. Remember, you invited me to a couple of those early eBay events. Remember that one that came to Atlanta, and it seems like
Oh,
you
we had
didn't you
the
bring it to them. I mean, weren't you part of like getting it there or something? It was
no, but we
because
did the
oh
after party.
you did what do you the aftermath? That's
We
I
did the
remember
aftermath.
aftermath,
Yeah.
and you had that dude, the guy that wrecked eBay, and then he Donahoe.
And the,
You literally
Donahoe.
you had the CEO of eBay at your after party. I mean,
Right,
that was
right.
pretty impressive to me.
But
And
but he had a good time. He was
he
chilling.
had
He
a
was
good
drinking.
and
That
everybody else
kind of
had a good
vibe.
time too. I mean, that it was
That's the
so
vibe.
you actually I gotta give you credit because you did bring that vibe to you know, well,
Yeah.
eBay at the time, they were kind of a hot
Mess.
kind of they're
Man, I used to go to I used to go to those eBay conferences. That's a good point because people were unapologetically eBay, right? So you go to the eBay conference and it would be all these people with their face painted with eBay colors, you know.
damn, what? People are running around with their faces painted in
Oh yeah, it
eBay?
was crazy, man. There was, I mean, eBay,
Was
them
Anthony
days.
one of them? Because he said he got chunked by
Anthony
John
used to
Donahue.
always have his hair done in different colors.
Oh my god.
I'm teasing. I'm giving him shit. But yeah, I mean, that was definitely a culture. And when they came to Atlanta, I did not want to emulate that culture. I
I
was like,
remember
y'all gonna have to feel a little bit of, you know,
I
good
remember, I
barbecue
think if
kind of
I'm not
vibe.
mistaken, I think I came up with the actual name, the
You
aftermath.
did. You
That's
did.
right.
Absolutely.
And
You
we did,
did.
and even Peggy, you got Peggy there? Remember, wasn't Peggy
Peggy
Duncan
was
there?
there. Man. Wow. Wow, I totally forgot about that. That was really the beginning of the Colder Ice vibe. It
Yeah, and
really
also
was.
the end of eBay because they once
It was at the end of eBay. eBay was already coming down from that point on. Once Donahue got in there, it was already starting to,
yeah.
yeah, it was starting to decline. But it's still here.
So wait a minute. So let's so you can because your eBay was still corporate. I mean, right? But you
Yeah.
guys did have a I don't know because e-commerce was still pretty new back then. You
Uh,
didn't have the
Let me
structure.
just tell you something, Brian.
What?
Let me just tell you something, buddy.
Ah,
I am a unapologetically black person.
of course.
Anytime I'm in the room or if I'm running something, you're going to get that vibe, you know? And I mean that in a very good way. And I'm not saying, you know,
Well, it's
but it's
just
like,
your vibe, right?
it's my vibe.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, and and it's just because Anthony's reminding me, we did the cabbage thing. Remember that?
I do. I don't. Was I at the cabbage thing?
Yes.
You did?
That's when we did
Huh.
the Kings of, whatever we were called.
Original Kings of Tech.
We did original Kings of Tech. Yes.
I don't
I'm
remember.
trying to think if that was the first time we were all together. I think
No,
the
we
first
did
time we
South
were all
by
together.
Southwest.
Oh, that was South
That
by
was like
South. But there's,
2008.
you know what? I don't think
Damn,
Ramon was there.
2008. We're
Yeah,
talking
that's gonna
17
be like
years.
20. Yeah, it'll be almost 20 years soon.
Oh, oh my
I don't
god.
think Ramon was there, but I remember it was
Troy.
me, you, and
Was Troy there?
Definitely Troy was there.
I do not remember this.
You remember my dad came?
I don't think I was there because I would have remembered meeting your dad. I don't think I remember.
Yeah, okay. But we were on the day before or something. But okay. Yeah, I got a picture of us together at the ICE conference. I don't know if Ramon was in that picture or not.
Now, I remember your event. Was it ICE Retailer?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah. Cabbage wasn't a Cabbage event. It was your event.
No, but they were the sponsor.
I thought Infusionsoft was a sponsor too.
No, that was the second one.
All right, I maybe I didn't go to the first one. I don't know. Maybe I was away somewhere.
You went to the first one.
Okay, well, I don't remember Cab. Well, anyway, but
they were baby. I mean, they were Brussels sprouts.
Hey, Jacob, you are so late to this conversation. We already talked about AI Week in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Did Jacob go?
No, he did not go.
Oh, okay.
Jacob lives in Canada.
Oh. Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, JoJo.
Who's JoJo?
JoJo will be around on Monday. Y'all see him on Monday.
Who's JoJo?
Yeah, I'm not saying anything. I just said JoJo's coming. He's coming on Monday. You know me. I like teasing stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't pay attention to most of
it. Really?
I hate people. Look, I hate people.
He said I'm doxing.
Is he JoJo?
No, he said I'm doxing him. Whatever, man. You need to be proud.
I don't know. I know I hate being teased. You know what? Whenever somebody tries,
you hate being teased. Why?
Yeah, it's not just you. Because all you're doing is it's just trying to draw me in. And I'd rather just tell me what the hell's going on, and I'll determine myself if I want to go. I don't like the breadcrumb leaving. All that stuff. Wait a minute, did you post something on Facebook with you? It's coming or something?
That's what I said. I said JoJo is coming, and that was it.
Look, Jacob, don't waste your time. Don't worry about it. If it was that important, he would tell you who the hell JoJo is. JoJo Dancer, your life is called.
Somebody did write that. Somebody said, "Is he a dancer?"
Yeah, let me ask you this, because you're one of them marketing type folks. Is this like marketing 101? You put a bland one, it's coming, and then I see people ask, "What is it?" I'm like, I'm not
really. Honestly, it is a motivation for me. Honestly,
what the hell is Lovable 2?
Lovable is like a vibe coding, no code platform. Okay. Yeah,
I like what's the one I like? Cursor. I think I like Cursor.
Yeah, it's okay.
Lovable.
Yeah, and they're rolling out so fast at this point. Everybody
can keep up with all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Canva even did it in their release. So
everybody's got all this stuff coming, and it's just. Let me ask you, because how do you keep being excited about all this stuff?
I'm not going to say I'm excited about all of the stuff. I keep excited about the LLM advancements, because as the LLMs advance, then the tools that use LLM advance.
Or LMs, not necessarily LLMs, but LMs.
What's LMs?
Just language models. Some of them are small, some are narrow, some are industry.
Well, no, these guys are using that. You got to be large to do this kind of coding in it, And I mean, the deal is when they release a new model and they say, "Hey, it does math and it does coding at this level," well, then that all those platforms that are coding platforms are going to move up in terms of their capabilities. So. Because they're all wraparounds. None of them own an LLM.
None of those little app developers. You're right. They're taking advantage of the motherships of all these, like the OpenAIs and the Gemini.
There's only like 3 motherships.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
4.
Right? Probably a little more now, but
like who?
Well, you got OpenAI, right? You got Anthropic. Right. You got Cohere. You got what's the one for Google? What is it? Gemini.
So
that's what 4 or 5.
That's 4.
And then
who'd you say code here?
Cohere. They're more enterprise. Most enterprises like are really partnering with them.
Yeah, so they have their own large language model.
Oh yeah, look them up. Cohere. C-O-A. Oh,
but I mean, I guess they probably do.
Oh yeah, how could I forget that? DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, of course.
So you got that as well.
You're right, but that's new to the game, and
who's Kimmy
in the last? I don't know.
Is that an LLM? Jacob, let us know. Kind of interested in that. But yeah, so there's like a handful, maybe a little more than a handful. But as you said,
and most of them, and only 3 of them, or maybe 4 of them, actually are driving innovation
at that foundational level. But then you have companies like ServiceNow, which I don't know if you saw their earnings report. While all this craziness is going on in the stock market, they announced huge earnings and then revised their earnings for the upcoming quarters upwards. Their stock went from like 800 to over 900 and some odd in one overnight. Okay, he says Kimmy is free and super good.
Yeah, now, well, here's the deal. I mean, now people have released their code, so you can build your own version of an LLM.
It's whole open source
using
stuff.
Open source code.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
But
here's the thing.
But still, those open source guys are not pushing forward what we're seeing happening in in the industry in general.
But once, like you said, which is pretty much the story.
I just want you to know, you brought up AI, not me.
No, Jacob did. Blame Jacob. Oh my God, Dojo. My man coming up with Kimmy, Dojo, Lovable. I mean, all right, yeah, Grok. You got to remember.
Grok is definitely one of the ones I put in the top 4.
Yeah, they're doing their thing. All right.
Grok is fast.
But once again, it's still really all this stuff is being driven by like a handful of companies.
Absolutely.
So nothing has changed with all.
And you know what's going to happen? At some point, they're going to eat up the smaller companies.
Just
anybody does anything that's really cutting edge, you're going to buy them. Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to be just like earlier today. We were talking about Google's earnings and how killer, and ain't nothing really changing in terms of AI search. Everybody's talking about AI search and how that might, there might be something that comes out that disrupts Google. Ain't nothing coming out, because once again, there's only a handful of companies that can literally change the market. Everybody else is feeding off of that. It's like an ecosystem. Like all the
I disagree, but
there's something called a DreamSeek now. Oh my God. I mean, within the span of 5 minutes, Jacob has dropped DreamSeek, Dojo, Kimmy, Lovable. And that's just one guy and his set of experiences. There's probably like 10,000 things about to be dropped by 8,000.
By the time the show's over.
Yeah. This only feeds the 4 or 5 foundational companies around.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is the same as it's been for decades for everything. Nothing has really changed.
I mean, it makes new opportunity for small businesses to grow, get funded, and then get eaten up by the big company.
So once again, a small percentage of these companies coming out with stuff are going to get the big funding.
Yeah, everybody's not going to make it to the major leagues.
Jacob says, you guys got to expand beyond USA. Canada's killing it. Can we come to AI Week in Canada, Jacob, when that happens?
There you go.
That is better than Atlanta. Yeah.
There you go. You are so wrong. You are so wrong. Shut up.
No, I'm just
leave Atlanta alone.
Atlanta.
I
love Atlanta.
But wait, I want to get back to this thing about Google. Google does have a great moat, right? And I do believe that at one point people underestimated Google, and that's why people were talking about it. And at the same time, they have underestimated, believe it or not, people have underestimated AI. It's
Maybe
not. It's
did they
it's not a hype.
underestimate it? Did they underestimate
It's
it,
underestimated.
or did they not even understand it altogether?
Oh well, yeah, that. But you remember, what if maybe 6 months ago? I remember on our show, the other show, the small business show,
Yeah.
that we were talking about. You had brought up a news story where people were pulling back from AI and investing in AI. Remember that
Yeah,
conversation?
because they didn't know what ROI they would get out of their
Right.
investment.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And they
remember,
still
and I
don't.
was like,
They still don't know
exactly. But they still yapping about it.
because
They
everybody else
still,
is yapping about it.
because they have to.
They
They
have
have
to
to.
yap. I mean, everybody else. You got Jacob running out all sorts of things we never heard of before. And you're right, Jacob. So this is why Google is not going anywhere. All right, they've got Android users, they got Gmail users, they got YouTube users, they
got map
search.
users.
I
You
mean,
keep saying that. Don't forget maps. Maps is
Maps,
way
yeah.
important.
Yeah, you're right. So they
have mapped. Here's the thing. They've mapped the landscape of the earth. Who else got
which
that?
is crazy when you think about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Who else got that? Like literally, I can use that to drive to my front door. All of them still trying to get that. I'm telling you, man. And don't they own Waymo?
I think they might have invested in it. I don't know if they own
invested
it outright.
in it. Okay. Yeah. I think they're going to buy it.
But they have so many applications that people use, billions of people use every month, if not every day. So
you're talking about emails and
I'm talking about email. I'm talking about search. I'm talking about YouTube. I'm talking about YouTube TV. I mean, look at just YouTube. They said 1 billion people watching podcasts or listening to podcasts on YouTube.
And they create content for YouTube.
That's why
content.
And so you mentioned moats, and I remember people were saying, "Oh yeah, this is going to completely disrupt YouTube or Google's business." It's actually making it more embedded.
I guess. I think they're.
You know why?
Yeah, the numbers definitely show it.
Because, like you were just saying, all these things create data, and AI is worth jack if you don't have the data to actually feed it.
That's why Grok is important. That's why Grok is important.
Yeah. But you know what? Grok doesn't have nearly the user base as any of these Google.
No, it doesn't. But it has real time. It has some very real time data, even though it's all skewed and messed up now. But
all right, so Jacob, you're right. So combined the applications that attract billions of users that create, I don't know how much, trillions of data, and they also have their own data center.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Look, that's the whole key. You can name all of these other LLMs. Do they have a data center?
No, not a data center. A data center strategy that's global.
It requires it.
Yeah. So
it requires it.
I don't care. I mean, and you know who else is in really good shape too with this stuff? The company you don't really like. Microsoft. You know what? Somebody, I forgot. Somebody said Microsoft's the valuation of Microsoft's stake in OpenAI is like worth 147 billion.
Because it's like a $300 billion company.
Yeah. So if OpenAI is gonna be a main player, guess what? Microsoft is gonna be a main player too.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this is probably one of the best things Microsoft has done since I've been watching it. So good on them. So, and they stay out of it. So that makes it good too.
So far.
Exactly. So far, So, but they've stayed out of the development of LinkedIn as well. And it's been
you know what,
right?
They have, and it's still LinkedIn. It's not called Microsoft LinkedIn.
Yeah, it then turned it into Teams,
Well, and Teams is actually standing up on its own at this point.
It is.
Yeah. It is. So Microsoft. So you got Google, because I just don't want to say Alphabet. This is Google.
Okay. You got Alphabet.
Yeah, whatever.
And you got Meta.
You got Meta because look, Insta Facebook, Insta,
Yeah. WhatsApp.
all that stuff. I mean,
that's all good.
Yeah, so you got
then we got Grok, a little smaller database, but they still got it.
Well, I think you got Microsoft, you got Google, and you've got Meta, and I would say,
Google, Meta.
Where do you fit Amazon? Because they got to be up there too, because of all the data they have.
Amazon is playing. Amazon's playing on the sidelines and winning the game. You watch. I'm telling you,
they got all the components too.
They got so many components. You know what? You remember Mechanical Turk?
Oh yeah.
You know that's still out there.
So people are still using that, doing that?
Yeah. I happened to look. I mentioned it on the show the other day, and I was like, Mechanical Turk is still out there. So there's a use case somewhere in there, right? But if you think about it, how much data goes through Mechanical Turks? Because it is all about you taking your data, giving it to somebody else, and they're in the middle. Amazon is sitting on some stuff.
So we named like the four. You know what? You know what's weird?
We didn't say OpenAI, which is the
I said Microsoft because as good as OpenAI is, there's just a subset of the overall Microsoft.
Nah, I don't think so. But
you got Microsoft Azure, you've got Microsoft Office.
I get it. I mean, but if we're talking about in the world of AI, maybe you weren't talking about.
I'm talking about.
You're talking about just big corps. All right. So who else?
I had one other that I was thinking about. So we got Microsoft, Facebook, Google. Oh, here's the one that is in Amazon. The one that it seems to be lagging further and further behind Apple. Apple seems to have really missed the boat on this AI stuff.
Well,
and they don't know how to
they didn't try to build a boat, for one. They thought they were going to jump on a boat, and then they decided, we're going to wait for another boat.
They were the first ones to build the boat because Siri was the first one of these intelligent.
But they bought Siri. They didn't.
Yeah, but they didn't do nothing with it.
No,
at least Amazon has done. I mean, they didn't do nearly enough with
there's a problem that there evidently there is a problem with bringing that kind of AI, old school, into this new large world of AI. There's evidently
Apple should have been running circles around a lot of these companies.
Yeah, I guess. I think Apple spent a lot of time focusing on the hardware. They're a hardware company.
Not just the hardware. I mean, the car, building an Apple car, that was stupid.
That was dumb.
And they spent way too much time figuring out this is a loser. I don't know what to make out of the Vision Pro. The Vision Pro stuff is nowhere near where they thought it was going to be.
Trash. Man, I just saw Google got a glass coming out. Not a glasses.
We're not going back to Google.
And it's not even Google. I want to say it's like Samsung or somebody.
Oh, they're partnering?
I mean, they're building it on the same platform. But, I don't like the glasses idea. I really don't. I hate it. I wish they would do some other device. I just, I don't want to wear glasses all the time.
Google has proved time and time again they ain't good with devices. It's not as good with devices as they are with information products.
Right. And I don't think that Apple is as good with, those kind of products as they are good
information and services.
Information and services. They help industries. They help other industries be efficient. That's their job. And when they figure it out, I think they'll jump back in. When they can make AI at the push of a button for real, then I can see that happen. And it's just not ready yet. I think they got caught up in it's ready. Everybody, just like everybody's running around talking about agentic AI. I mean, it's great and certain things you can do, but these tools are not ready yet. Matter of fact, they just came out with a new, anyway, it's me going down my rabbit hole. But I'm just saying, it's just
this year is the year of agentic AI, just like last year, and I guess the year and a half before was the generative AI. Now, I just watched the CEO and founder of DeepMind. He was one of the I think top 100 on Time's top 100 list or whatever it is, and he did a. They just had him on 60 Minutes. It was real. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. Really fascinating because this guy is like a little younger than us, and he I think he won. Was it a Nobel something lately around AI stuff?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, this guy. I wish I think his last name is Demis or his first Demis, not Dennis, but Demis or something like that. I wish I had his name right in front of me. But it was a really interesting interview. And one of the things he was saying is, we're still nowhere near what we're going to be. And he was totally focused on AGI.
Yeah, everybody is.
Yeah, well, but I think most people don't understand what that really means because
they don't.
There's so many cheerleaders about what's going on now, and he's like,
and they act like, see, that's what they're acting like. They're acting like agentic is getting close to AGI, and it's like, man, it ain't even. You don't understand.
Nah.
No, I can't wait to see that. But
yeah, so there's you might want to check that out because that guy, I mean, he's at the forefront.
And guess who's that? Guess who he represents?
Of course, Google. I mean, that's why I'm saying that if people
you said the guy from DeepSeek, didn't he?
No, DeepMind.
DeepMind. Okay, Google DeepMind. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out. Nah, I was thinking DeepSeek all this time.
No, DeepMind. I was like,
I gotta check it out. Okay, DeepMind. Okay, yeah. I did see that was coming out. All right.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, I don't usually watch 30 minutes, or I think it was 15 minutes, but it was really compelling stuff. Yeah, Demis Hassabis, that's his name. Check it out. It was really
I would definitely check
some interesting stuff. Man, Jacob, are you like
Googling it?
Completely focused on AI, like, because it seems like you are really knee deep in this stuff too, like your boy is. So you guys should do a show and call it the AI Bro. Oh, wait a minute, can't do that.
You are so wrong. Leave my buddies alone.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Lots of interesting stuff. So I'll be going. Let's see. Good. Oracle event. Let's see. Oracle, Zoho, Salesforce.
Back to back.
I told you I got 5.
No, this is that season.
I'm traveling 5 of the next 6 weeks. That's why I got to shave. I'm gonna have to shave again.
Oh, yay! That is so awesome. I guess I'll have to shave too. Then I'll look like the old codger.
Shaving and traveling again. Jeez.
But I do not envy you.
I think there's going to be some interesting things because I get a chance to actually, talk to some folks that are. Oh, going to ServiceNow. ServiceNow is going to be a big one. Because what they're doing with AI is really interesting, along with what Oracle's doing. So anyway, maybe I'll have some stuff to throw at you, based on some of the things.
That's cool. I mean, it's everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, I think it's really good for now. But I do feel like that it's got a short runway. It's not forever. In terms of people jumping around, talking about it, at some point it's going to simmer down a little bit.
Yeah,
because what happens is we get it gets hard to, humans, man, we some motherfuckers. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We are, because look, even Prince, we like, he got a new album out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard to keep going above and beyond where people will just get a little stagnant. I don't think we'll have a AI winter again, but it can't keep doing this. It can't.
Yeah.
Mark my words, this day.
But if you were to say
we're
at a ball game, what inning would it be for all this stuff?
Oh, that's the key. We're probably in third at the top of the third. Top of the third.
Jacob, that sound right to you? Top of the third for all this AI stuff?
Might not even be that far in.
They do play baseball in Canada, right?
I recently said, we were in the Pong phase.
Oh my God.
I think now we're probably into Pac-Man.
I like that phase.
Yeah, I think we're in Pac-Man phase.
Pac-Man, Space
and it only took us like 6 months to go from Pong to Pac-Man. That's the crazy part.
Jacob is saying second inning. Now, is that the bottom of the second?
Yeah, on the top of the second.
Because that's close to the top of the third. So you guys are in the same neighborhood there.
It's just early in the game.
All right.
It's early in the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's early into the weekend, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah. That's the key right there, Jacob. You're absolutely right. There's only so much you're going to be able to impress people with text, videos, and that's kind of cool. I mean, media, just in general. The media hype is going to die down, and that's where we are right now. Everything's about the media.
And that was one of the more interesting parts of Jensen Huang's keto when he started talking about that. What do you call it?
The robots and what?
He called it physical AI.
Physical,
which I think is a stepping stone into the GAI. And
that's the big problem. Yeah, that's the big problem. It's because AI right now with the token-based system, and I don't know enough about it. All right. But they were saying that the inability for it to actually recognize 3D worlds is very bad. He's like, that's why when you do the video and all of a sudden the hands do weird stuff. It's because it doesn't understand the physical world, and it's a limitation.
Yeah.
That they can't get past because it's still being done by words. It has to, there's a physical component to it that AI just don't get until they get into the physical world. Either that, or here's what I'm thinking. All right. I had this dream the other night, man. We're going to turn into Borgs. Maybe AI won't be so great as a robot. And then it's like, we're better robots for AI to learn from. That's good. I need to write that down.
You can end on that note.
Yeah.
We're all going to be Borgs. Feel so good about
for the reasons why. That's the one. All right, let me write that down.
Yeah, you write that down, and while you're writing it down, we will hey everyone, have a great weekend. Have a great week. We shall see. I'll be back by Friday. So we shall see.
Okay, cool. You'll be here.
Yeah, I think I got my travel, so I'm always back on Fridays. So
I
think for the most part.
Why? You just like being home?
I don't need to be gone 3 or 4 an additional night if I don't have to be.
All right. We'll talk after this.
And thanks, man, Jacob. You were big time contributing.
He was big, wasn't he?
Absolutely. I gotta be looking at Kimmy and Dojo and Deep Dream Seek. I mean, all sorts of crazy things.
He'll be in the rabbit hole.
All right, folks. Enjoy. We will see you next week, and you know what this means.